Welcome, folks. Another Trade Picks recap video. This time it's Wednesday, January 21st, and I got the date right. Low. Today we're at $53 on a semi-good day with some stocks moving. But that isn't always the case. You always have your red days, and today we had our share of red trades as well, and you'll see that. That's why it's important that you understand that this is only entertainment and a record of my personal journey in day trading. So be careful out there, get professional advice, and most of all, train on the simulator. And if you do trade like I do, this is typically what I do in pre-market. I check all the stocks that are moving, check their support and resistance levels. I try to observe price action, their behavior, and the stream of the overall market, where it's headed, up or down. And that helps me to jump in, and when the time is right, jump in on trades. Most important are, of course, volume and a positive MACD. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. And the other is making sure that whatever stock symbol you're trading is actually moving up and on a good solid foundation to move up. Use VWAP for that. So here's what we did today. We took 5 trades: PAVM, SEGG, PAPL, AMZE. So 4 stock symbols, and you can see there we were down about $6 and wound up about $53. And our average win was $25, where our average loss was 11, and on 5 trades. And that's pretty good because we had more winning trades than losing trades. So for the month, we've managed to cut our drawdown down to $177 from yesterday's $230. So we have about 7 days left on the month, and so we have an opportunity to at least skid away with some good with a low drawdown. Here's the trades. We made $47.50 on PAPL, and we bought 500 shares at $191 and got out at $2, and you'll see that video. So it was only a 9-cent win, but it was a good win nevertheless. AMZE was a little bit more, 2,000 shares, and this one was a little harried, and I got out way too early, but hey, it was still a winner, $27. And then I went back for more at with 170 shares, and damn, lost 10 cents on it, just on 170 shares. We were down $16 because otherwise we would have had a $69 day, but I'm happy with $53. That's good enough for me. So we got on a little late. We didn't get up as early as yesterday, and right about 20 minutes before the open, and we were watching PAVM, and of course the stock was doing really good, but it was moving up and moving down, and we decided to jump in just with 3 shares just to test the waters. And I thought, oh, well, move in 3 shares and then we go up, we go up. I didn't jump in with any more size, and I also didn't give it that much room to the downside before getting out. I learned my lesson from ROLR last week, and I wasn't about to do the same. And this ticker didn't seem like it had conviction to head up to the upside. And as I was later on, as I'm doing the trades after the open, it was moving up and down, up 24, 25, 26. And I actually saw this one guy make over $2,000 on it, but he was taking 800 shares at $24. And I mean, when you have that kind of capital and margin, you can do that, but I don't have that. Folks with a 2K account can't afford to take that many shares. So I thought about it, and I said, you know what? Learn my lesson, stay away, And at $20, I mean, let's say I bought 100 shares and it goes up 40 cents. The win is not worth it. It's not that much. So I think that I'm through taking shares at a price of $10 and above. I just don't think it's worth it. There was one that it was worth it, BNAI, and I got an alert. I've got this pattern that I run on another chart, and the pattern said, hey, at $10 at 9 something, the pattern hit, and it says you should take it. But of course, I was watching something else, and that made a good move. But of course, it also pinnacled down after it couldn't survive, and the pressure up at the top. So we're hanging on to this, thinking that it might go, but I think this was more of a longer day hold. About half an hour ago, I saw the market and it looked like it was dumping again. So I think people are going to take profits, and they're still iffy and not confident. And I think that the momentum we have on the small caps is due to new folks coming in. You know, it's a brand new year. People have new resolutions. They get new money. So we may have an influx of new retail traders out there trying to make money and making small caps hot. So, which is a good thing. We were also watching SEGG during the day. This one looked like it had potential, but the volume wasn't there. No conviction from buyers, and yeah, it just didn't go anywhere. And it was more of a continuation. And we went a little bit with more size on this one with 20 shares. Still not that huge. And we sat and watched it a little bit. And I'm not going to take you through the entire length of the video here. But it was right before the open, and I thought it had an opportunity. And like I said, I don't like taking trades at the open. But I thought this one is moving up, and it has a nice curl up pattern, and it may kick up. And so this was around about 5 minutes to go. And then here comes the open. And at the open, before the open, what I did is I put a stop limit in there, and I says, you know, if it gets down to 160, I want to get out. I don't want to hang around, because I thought it was moving very slow, and I thought, oh, it has a potential to go up to 3, and that's what I was hoping for. So I was going to hold it, because I didn't think this was going to be a momentum 1 or 2, 10, 20 second hold. I thought that this would take a little longer to percolate, and had an opportunity to go back up to 3. And if it did, it was going to take a little while. So my thought today was, let's play this one. Because obviously I saw nothing with huge momentum that I was in other than PAVM. And I think if there were any others that were that had moves early on in the morning in pre-market, then I missed them. So, they're buy and gone. So here there was some optimism, and I thought about taking bigger size, but I said, no, I'm going to play it cautious, just 20 shares, and see where it leads. And of course, anything under $5-10 is of no consequence. And we had already lost $5 on PAVM. So I was looking to say, well, maybe, recovered some of that and more. But like I said, my thought was really that a target of $3 on this one. And but as you can see there, it didn't do much. It looks like went up to 263 and later on, but now it has dwindled down. It's at a 224, and it's 11 a.m. on the Pacific Coast right now. So didn't do much. Let's see, PAVM. Looks like PAVM pinnacled at $27, and it's now at $15. So, yeah. So not much there either. And I really see it did move up. I mean, but I think had someone bought it at 2, had I bought it around 2, it might have been better. But at 2, I wasn't as sure. And I think this was the best that it did, and I should have perhaps gotten out of here, but I said no. I think it can go to 3. BTC fell down to 88K, so that's having an issue. Nvidia 181, the SPY at 680, though it had moved up to 683 earlier. Interesting. What's XRP doing? 190. That seems to be holding at 190, and the next support is around 184. And if it can't hold that, 170s for sure. And then it's a buy. So I think it's a wait on these markets. I think we're going to have a slow period between now and February, the end of February. So you see there, it just dunked, and it took me out because I had that stop limit in there. And so I had watched PAPL a little earlier, but I wasn't interested, and I started to watch it here. And if you saw at the very beginning, I said don't take a trade on the first move up to VWAP. And while that is absolutely something that I need to stick to, you need to be dynamic enough to be able to modify your rules when there is an opportunity. And I saw an opportunity here. There's a break. The volume is moving up. The MACD, you see that green shaded cloud there just sprawling upwards. And it's obvious that there's room here. Now, I have support and resistance there, and resistance is at 298. And I'm not thinking that it's going to hit there. My goal is right below VWAP. So here, what I'm thinking is that this is going to hit maybe a little below VWAP, and then fall back. And then so went ahead and jumped in with 500 shares at $1.91, and sure enough, you see it start moving up, and it's about 6:42 Pacific time, so we're 12 minutes past the open, so it's a good time to jump in, and there might be a good opportunity here. So we were down only $6 before we took this trade, so whatever we can get out of here, if we make back our $6 or anything beyond that, is green profit. So we're good. That looks a little better there after I pan out. And now, this wasn't a clear cut up. Profit is there. You can see that it pulled back a little. But it started to climb again. Once we were above that, our buy zone, 191, then we knew that the profit was there. It was just a matter of deciding where our exit was going to be. and it was holding up here. So, and there we get a new green bar, a new green candle. I did get tempted to exit here, but I felt that the spread was a little bit too erratic, and by the time I hit sell, it'd probably take me out with making $2. And then here we got a little confirmation with our green arrow and a new candle, making passing that on the left, and then there we do. P&L was up there for the day at 40, above $40. And then, like I said, all I was waiting for it to hit 2, and maybe a little more notch, a little higher notch. There we go. And we exited out right at the top, $47.50. And we started to watch it. This is now 7:18 a.m., so it's about 45 minutes after the open. And we're watching AMZE. And this one looked interesting to me because if you look back to the left of the screen there was a break there, and it started moving up, but it was moving very slow from about 45 cents up to 50 cents. And it made a 10-cent move, but it was very slow. So it wasn't something that we were looking for in a momentum stock, and I don't think it had news. So I continued to watch it, and then I got a signal right there as it hits, as it goes above, well, before it hit the 57 high a day there, but I didn't take it. Again, 57-cent stock, no catalyst. I wasn't convinced, and sure enough, you see the big red bar all the way down from 57 all the way back down to about 50 cents. And so, but there wasn't anything much else to jump into, at least that enticed me to go in. All of the other stocks that were there, they were tempting, but they were tempting me to lose money. And I've decided that I am no longer going to be a slave to to the seduction of green candle bars. I'll probably give in, sure enough. But so here we go. That was 7:18, so it's about 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, and now it's made a move up and a comeback, and it looks like it's moving up. Even though we had 4 candles there on the 5-minute that were red. So right here, I decided to jump in with 2,000 shares. And again, I'm not looking for 50 or 60 cents. I'm looking for, 3 or 4 cents, something just to add to my winnings. We were already up $47, so another 10, 15 bucks would have been nice. And that's what I was looking for. So, and it was this was the longest trade. So we held it from 7:20 to 7:30. And I felt it, I was a little earlier. I thought, oh shoot, I should have waited until 8 o'clock, because usually, there's a surge at 8 a.m. Pacific on the market. But so that had me a little nervous, and especially the fact that I already had $47. I mean, I could have walked away and be happy with that. So and as it turns out from here, so here we were at $47, and then we made a couple more trades, and we only made $6 more on these next 2 trades, even though this one turns out to be a nice trade too. Also, not huge, but and you're going to be surprised. And so, what did I see here? I saw a very low price stock, penny stock. I thought that there was a little bit of movement, and that it had potential for buyers to jump in, because PAVM was overpriced, and its spread was so high that it was going up and down, so you buy into it, and depending on where you bought, you could lose $3 or $4. So I didn't think that was attractive. SEGG was about to dump, and I think there was one more that also tried, but it didn't have it with them. So this penny stock presented an opportunity for someone to jump in with a few thousand shares and make a little bit of money. And there was news that eventually did come out saying that somebody had initiated coverage, and the price of the stock was valued at $3 a share. And so when I saw that, I thought, "Ooh, wow! Maybe hold this for a few months and a few thousand shares of this, and you can make some money because it's only at 50 cents. It goes up 5 times its worth. That could be some nice change, but that's not what we're into. And if it does start to move up, then we'll get it. We'll jump in. And we continue to watch it. Now here, it doesn't seem as convincing. It's falling below our buy line. And now you remember we were watching it right at VWAP, which was, right above, below 53 cents. And we didn't buy in at 55. And to make sure that I got in, I did, I think I hit a market share. And so here I'm getting a little bit nervous, and I say, you know what? I need to set a position so that if it goes up, I at least get some money. And I still think that it's going to hit 57, but it might not go all the way up. So I think I want to reduce my position because I don't want to wind up being $40 or $50 down and then wipe out everything that I did for the day. And sometimes it takes tenacity to sit through these and to hold them. And, you see, since we're momentum traders and we want to be in and out, it is kind of difficult to watch something like this and say, oh, shoot, I'm down. I want to get out. But, and that might be the reason why I may have more red days than green days, or than most folks who get up very quickly. Because I think other folks would have gotten off in that doji candle up there where it's a mix, but it's in the middle. And then there was a hammer, and then 2-3 red bars. This would be an indication for somebody to get out. And yet I didn't see that. What I saw was the fact that, yeah, it's going to the downside, but it isn't pushing hugely with a lot of pressure to the downside. And so I thought, well, it's 7:35. We'll give it another 15 minutes. We hold it, and we think that there'll be more buyers coming in eventually. And there was if you look at the bids and asks there, you can see 33, 34, 36, about 37,000, maybe 40 now. And the sellers there on the ask are quite a few. And it was a low float stock, so I think the potential was there. Now, while I knew it had potential, I didn't know it had the potential that you're about to see. Because I left money on the table on this one. And by the way, all the videos today are in real time. So the fact that the time and sales is moving slow, volume is moving slow, that's exactly how it was. And I thought at this point, I said, oh, shoot, folks are not coming in. And the problem with that is if it doesn't show movement, folks who use the scanners and who, provide alerts aren't going to be mentioning it. And if they don't mention it, nobody's going to hear about it. And that leaves only those of us who are trading it to watch it. But it was holding its own here, trying to raise a new itself to a new channel. And I did think it had an opportunity to go above 60. I thought, if it hits 60, 62, 64 is possible. And then beyond that, it might hit 80. Now, that's an overbearing, not bearish, I don't want to say overbearing, I want to say over bullish thought. But the possibility was there. Excuse me. So here we finally start to move back up a little bit. And the bids are stacking up. And there we finally make that push. And we get taken out at 56.59. And we thought it was done. We still have 1,000 shares left. And again, the thought is, I'm not going to wait for it to reach the upper band of VWAP. I'm going to take my profit. But yet, as you see here, it pushed even higher. So yeah, we left another 10 cents on the table. So when you see a stock like this move and it's holding, and even beyond that red bar there's an opportunity that if it goes above VWAP, that it could potentially be poising itself for a big push, and that what it's doing, it's loading up, right? And I think these are rare. I don't think we see many of them that do this. So don't assume that every pattern that looks similar to this is going to do exactly this. But this, I think, reinforces what we've been seeing the last 3 days, is that there is a lot more traders out there pushing for small cap market action. And that's what we're seeing. So here we were up $69 with that $27 win. And I still had, I think, another 170. I had enough to buy another 170 shares left in settled cash funds. And I thought, well, maybe here I didn't think it was going to do any more. But then it picks itself up. So I decided to go in with another buy of only 170 shares. And as it turns out, I lost 16 out of the 27 and only wound up making $11. But those are the breaks. You take chances and it's okay. So this stock came out of nowhere, AMZE. Nobody was probably watching it. I mean, it's just slowly moving up, creeping up like a turtle. And the fact that we saw it was just opportunity. And it was the right timing, and only because we weren't watching anything else. And rather than watching 3 or 4 stocks all at once, well, I should rephrase that. Watching a single stock, there you can see that it did go up all the way to 62, high day, almost 63. And watching a single stock and then clinging to it in order to make money is a bad thing. Yeah, look at that. Went off screen. 64. Almost 65. I thought it was going to hold up there. All the way to 66. Ooh, the lucky number, 6666. And then that's why it went down. It couldn't go past its devilish self. So when you're watching one stock and you think that, oh, this has an opportunity, it already did this, and you stick with it for a long period of time trying to make money out of it, it's a mistake. But it's also a mistake to watch a whole bunch of stocks or to jump from one to another, because you're trying to make money and you're trying to find that right one, the ideal one. And then what happens is along the way you start taking trades, and they don't become smart trades any longer. So you have to pace yourself, watch, and be observant. I think is the key. So get into the market, be observant, and watch for your opportunity and let that opportunity come to you. Look at that, 67.71. We got out 10 cents too early. But tomorrow will be another opportunity. Tomorrow will be Thursday, and maybe we'll see the same volume, and make a little bit more green. And hopefully it stays like this the rest of the month, at least for small caps. I think large caps have their work cut out for them. They need to decide whether folks are going to jump in and start buying up. That was the other thing I was thinking. Right before the end of the year, because of tax season, folks start to dump and sell their stocks, and they have all this extra cash. They're buying it up now, but large caps are way too risky, so they may be putting their money into small caps. And new buyers coming in because of the new year that they decided to trade. So that could explain the influx. But because it doesn't appear that the small caps right now is affected by any of the news cycle from tariffs or anything else that's going outside. So that's a good thing. If we can stay under the radar and make money, we'll do so. But I think it'll slow down. Usually in February it'll slow down, and then it'll pick up after March. So yeah, we jumped in with 170 shares, and right off the bat we start losing. And we gave back, half our winnings, a little more than half. But it was still positive. It's green is green. I hope you all had the same opportunities and you all were green. If not, it'll be tomorrow, another day. Don't fret. Don't give up. Trade down. Trade with smaller sizes if you were red. And be hesitant. Assume that every stock ticker is going to go down. If you assume that the stock is bearish, it'll give you an opportunity to view it from the other side and hopefully pick out those areas where it does move up, and that you can buy there. So other than that, I think we're done for today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Gorilla out.